Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vernon O'Gara, and this is the Breakthroughs in Workplace Productivity podcast. Brilliant minds, ignorant minds is the inspiration behind this podcast, and it's a book about navigating workplace discrimination and barriers inside of corporate America. Again, I'm Vernon O'Gara. I'm the author of the book, and this book is like a roadmap, a guideline for African American professionals that decide that they want to get into employment inside corporate America. And I'd like to just give a little bit of background about myself and how I got into the book. And basically, I'm a product of a HBCU. I went to Lincoln University in Missouri. There's two Lincolns. There's one in Pennsylvania, there's one in Missouri. And I went to the one in Missouri, majored in business administration, and I got out of school. It was a great 4 years of my life. And when I entered the corporate world, I was in for a surprise. I mean, it was a corporate world that seemed focused on limiting the career path of African American men. It was just a system designed to keep us down. And that was part of the inspiration, again, for writing the book. You got to go into corporate America with both eyes open. And like I say, what I discovered was a system designed to retard the growth of African American men. I was always taught that you work hard and you dedicate yourself to your career and you'll achieve success. You focus, you discipline, you perform your duties to the best of your ability. You have an excellent work record and reputation, and that you'll be rewarded for your hard work. Well, boy, was I wrong, because it was not like that for me. What I noticed early on in my career and today is that there are a lack of African American men in leadership positions, in management positions, in administrative, those VPs and directors and managers. The six-figure salary positions inside corporate America are limited to African American men, and in some cases barred. And in the book, I write about Miles Livingston, and Miles Livingston is kind of like an alter ego of mine, and he experiences the same trials and tribulations. And for years, I dedicate myself to my job. I was in the healthcare sector. I worked in healthcare. I was a finance guy, and I decided I would go to grad school. And I got a master's degree in healthcare administration. I attended the Columbia University in New York, the Obama Workforce Development Program, and I was certified by that organization in Cornell. I published articles. I wrote articles. My articles were published in journals, in healthcare magazines and newspapers. I wanted to be the best. And I applied for managerial positions, and I was always told, wait your turn. We went into another direction. You weren't a good fit. Or we decided we were going to go in another direction. All these cliches that you hear for why you can't get the job. But what they were really saying is, Vern, you're too confident, you're too smart, you're overqualified, you're too black, and we're uncomfortable paying a black man a six-figure salary and having the authority that comes with this position. We're not going to do it. That's what they really wanted to say, but they couldn't say that. So they come up with all these other cliches. Oh, wait your turn or whatever. Yeah. Wait your turn means it's never going to come. And it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate for me because years and years, I mean, you come in, you work with people, your new employees are that you work with, and you see other people's careers taking off. I mean, some of the ladies that I came into the network with, the healthcare network that I worked at, they were making double my salary with high school diplomas, some of them. I mean, two Caucasian men that started with me at the same time. One was the CFO. This guy had connections, of course. White guy, smart, had connections. We were in grad school at the same time. Master's degree, healthcare administration, same degree. My immediate boss, director, finance director, same degree. These guys are making, one making 200 grand, the other one making 150. I'm stuck at like 40 grand with overtime. So you can imagine. I was having a hard time, man, in my career. And so that's part of the reason I wrote the book, because I want other Black professionals that decide that they want to go into corporate America. You got to have a strategy. You got to have a strategy, because you're going to go in there and you're going to think, oh man, I've got a great personality. I'm going to get along with everyone. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to learn my job. It's not enough. It's not going to be enough. I'm going to have an advanced degree. I'm going to get a certification. I'm going to do everything I can do, and I'm going to flourish. Not going to happen. There are going to be people that are going to just be fixated on holding you back. And that's how it was for me. And it's sad but true. Sad but true. And so what happened to me is that all this rejection and racism and stress and discrimination started to weigh on me. And I can remember one day my wife pulled me aside. She said, I don't know who you are anymore. You're mean to me. You're mean to the kids. You walk around with that nasty attitude all the time. You're picking fights with everyone. You better get yourself together. And I was shocked. I was shocked. I was upset, but she was right. I was carrying around this bag of discrimination and stress and rejection and pain. And I needed mental health. I needed to take care of my mental health. I needed counseling. Which how we are, fellas. It's like, I don't want to talk to no counselor. I like to counsel some of those HR professionals. That's who I wanted to counsel. But being in the corporate space, you got to be professional. You got to keep your work face on. You got to have your personality on. You got to be able to interact with people. But on the inside, you're burning. You're burning because you're looking at incompetent people making a six-figure salary, and you're saying, wait a minute, I could do that job. I'm prepared for this job, and you don't get it. Going to work every day. Hey, I want to take my kids to Disney World. I want to have a nice vacation. I want to take my wife out on Broadway and have dinner and spend money. But guess what? You can't do it. You can't do it on an entry-level wage that you're earning. And that was me. That was me. So I started to write. I started to write about my experiences. I started to write about the treatment that I received. You know what? I'm done with this job. I'm not going to work today. I've had it. I've been busting my ass for 15 years. For the last 15 years. It's insane on this job. I've applied for an interview. After interview, I've gone to interviews. I've applied for positions, managerial positions. And what happens? Mediocre Karen gets promoted ahead of me with her high school diploma, making twice my salary. And you know what the kicker is? They want me to train her. I'm done. I'm done with this job. I can't take it anymore. And you know what? I wrote a book. Let me introduce my book to everyone. Brilliant Minds, Ignorant Minds. Yep. I'm an author now. I wrote this book, Brilliant Minds, Ignorant Minds. The title basically means that the brilliant minds capable of innovation and progress and strength and commitment. Those are the brilliant minds. And the ignorant minds are stuck on perpetuating a system of bias and racism and unfairness. And the ignorant mind is just unable to integrate all the minds of the organization to make the organization better. Well, what do they think we're going to do as a black men, as black women? We're gonna improve our companies, but the ignorant minds, they can't see it. So that's my book. I hope you pick up a copy. The website is brilliantignorantminds.com. Brilliantignorantminds.com. Check it out. Pick up a copy. You can read the synopsis of the book. You can read a little book trailer in there to get some more information. And by the way, I'm also going to do a podcast because this type of situation's got to be discussed. You know, from my peers, from my superiors, I was a team leader at work. Well, what does that mean? Team leader, I was struggling to pay my bills. Everybody consulted me. My boss actually called me in to his office one day and he said, I want you to be more involved with training these new employees. I said, yeah, boss, but I applied for that position. I'm ready to lead my team. I'm ready to manage a department or whatever. I've been applying for these jobs for years. Oh, don't worry, your time will come. But in the meantime, I want you being more involved in training. What am I going to say? I'm not going to quit my job. I have great benefits. I'm in the union. My kids go to the doctor. The pediatrician's covered. No copay. My wife's doctor is covered. My benefits are good, but my paycheck is poor. So I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. And then you have to keep your sanity. You can't go off. You can never be the angry black man at work. So all this that I'm explaining to you, the years are rolling by, 5 years, 6 years go by. Here it is. I have a master's degree. So I turn to my alter ego in the book. And those of you that have read the book know what I'm talking about. Livingston attacks his employer with a race discrimination case and lawsuit, federal lawsuit. And just to kind of get management and HR primarily to see that, wait a minute, you got a qualified black man in your midst that you will not give a chance. All this man wants is a chance. All I wanted was a chance to better myself. And I proved that on numerous occasions. But instead, I was not rewarded. My hard work was never recognized. And I eventually left that job with a PhD in workplace discrimination. And that's the way it was for me. My career was not a happy one. I didn't write this book as a happy read, as a feel-good story. That's not why I wrote this book. I wrote this book because I want the future generation of black professionals to enter that corporate American space totally prepared for what may happen, prepared for what will happen, and prepared for the unknown. Because I've seen some changes, but basically not for African-American men, not for us. I've seen women do very well, all a multicultural array of women, all shades and ethnicities and sizes and all rainbow of women doing very well. And I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. But all the time I'm seeing these women move on with their careers and take care of their families. And what am I doing? I'm struggling. I'm struggling day by day by day. So that fueled me to write the book. And my hope is that the HR executives will get the understanding of the trials and tribulations that black men have to go through in the corporate workspace, because we work just as hard. We probably work harder than anybody else because we know we're at the bottom of the barrel. We have the intelligence. We have the degrees. We have the expertise. We have the understanding. All we need is the opportunities, the same opportunities that other people have, the same opportunities that the Caucasian men have, that women have, that even immigration has, the immigrants, I should say, the LBGT group, the same opportunities that they have. Black men don't have those same opportunities, and it's unfortunate. And I talk about protected class in the book, civil rights, Title VII, how those laws affected the workplace and affected African American men. Career elevation, career growth. And again, when you look at these leadership teams, and I know for the years that I put in, there is a lack of African American men in these leadership teams. And I've seen it firsthand for years. For years. I worked at my last employer, I was there for like over 20 years. And I've been in the workforce over 30 years, right out of college. So I've seen it. So I immersed myself into my career. I began writing again. The book is Brilliant Minds, Ignorant Minds. And these are some of the things we're going to be talking about on the podcast, which I mentioned before. Protected class law, how being born in racism, how you grow up with certain biases, how it affects Black people, white people, Hispanic people. Everybody's affected by bias. I talk about another thing, a very touchy subject, the dynamic between Black men and Black women inside the workplace, and how many Black women have received and their careers have taken off. They have received success in their career. That's the word I'm looking for. They have received more success in their careers than Black men have received in our careers inside corporate American space. So we're going to talk about that. That's a hot button topic. The hidden trauma I talk about in the workplace, racism, and how to manage that racism at work, and the discrimination, and talking about mental health. You really need mental health. And I know I've gone through periods of time in my life where I needed a counselor to talk to someone, because you're working hard. The years roll by. You dedicate yourself. Like for me, I went back to grad school. I got certifications. I joined healthcare associations. I traveled the country. I did everything I could do. And I remained in that entry-level position. And it was rough. It was tough, especially when you know it, especially when outside of work, the colleagues in my professional organizations, and when I traveled to these conferences and attended these workshops out of my own pocket that I had to pay, mind you, guess who I was associating with? I was associating with directors and managers and VPs from across the country. So that was grinding on you, because I'm like, these people are submitting vouchers to get reimbursement. Oh, let me give my hotel bill and my plane ticket and my food. My employee is going to cover me. How about you, Vern? Oh, yeah, right. I'm going to go have a hot dog after the end of the conference. That's real talk. That's real talk, man, because I was on my own dime traveling around, but I wanted to be the best. So I wanted to be, my mindset when I got to work was, hey, I know what these directors know. I know what these managers know and what they don't know, because I'm associating, with people that are on the cutting edge of healthcare, of revenue cycle, of finance, hospital finance. I was a finance guy. So I did all these things to get ahead. But when I wanted that payoff, and the payoff was that promotion, was that management level position, to upgrade my quality of life, because I wasn't making a big salary, I never got it. It kept getting knocked me down every single time. Vern, you're too smart. You're overqualified. You're too Black. And we're not going to pay a Black man to have that kind of authority and knowledge in our company. That's what they were telling me. Basically, I heard that for my whole career. And that's the story of Miles Livingston, of Vernon O'Gara. Brilliant Minds, Ignorant Minds is a book. I hope you tune in. We're going to get into all these other issues in the future podcasts coming up. Thank you.